I just watched an interesting video by Shameless Plugs. It sounds like this. And so on. In this video, Shameless Plugs just shows a project where element of surprise has been used 3 times to create a unique synthesizer sound. If you know this plugin, it is known for creating completely randomized synth patches with parameters that you cannot touch yourself. They are all in the background. You can only click on the exclamation mark. But as Shameless Plugs states in the description of the video, this plugin often crashes your DAW. Then I went to look on the page of this plugin on pluginsforfree.com, and I saw that one person who also has Reaper reported this crashes, and someone else who doesn't say which DAW they use also reported crashes. So Yugu Audio has made quite a lot of stuff, but if it works stable, I don't know. I also don't want to find out now because I just had an idea how to kind of get around that. Anyway, I just went to the FL Studio page and downloaded FL Studio, the free trial. And now I'm installing it. I once had an NFR version of FL Studio. They gave it to me because I told them that I had to fix a bug. I think I shouldn't have told them that I was done fixing the bug, because then I lost my NFR license. And now I can only use the demo version of this DAW, which doesn't allow me to save projects. But for what I'm going to do now, it's not important to save projects, and everyone can do that, no matter if you only want to have the free version of FL Studio. FL Studio has a very interesting feature, a parameter randomizer that works for all plugins that you load. So you can load any synthesizer you want and it will randomize all of its parameters and create a unique patch from that. And that basically means that you can turn any synthesizer into element of surprise, but without crashing your DAW. So that immediately has multiple nice benefits. One of them is that it doesn't crash your DAW, and the other one is that you can decide which synthesizer to use for this. You have a bit more freedom and it's more stable as well. Alright, so now I loaded up FL Studio, continue trial. Okay, now it just loads the demo project in order to show everyone that FL Studio is a capable DAW. Okay, so now we have it here, and one thing that I always notice when I load up FL is how smooth everything appears, like moving around in the project and everything. Also, what I find interesting is that I don't have to load Restream in order to stream the audio into OBS. I can just directly capture it. That makes this a very nice DAW for everyone who wants to be sort of a music influencer or anything. You know, because things just look good and they immediately work. So that's already 2 things that work very nicely. Anyway, let's make a new project with a basic 808 and a limiter. Especially the limiter is important for what we want to do, because now we want to add a synthesizer. It's just kind of hard to see which one, because for some reason FL Studio doesn't automatically load all of the plugins that you have in your plugin folder. But let's just use Harmless for now, because I have Harmor and Harmless must be good too, I guess. This is how it works. In every plugin that you load in FL Studio, you can hit this options tab and then it will give you some additional options. You have to open the preset list and then click on randomize. All of the parameters have been randomized now, and we can play that back. And we get a unique sound that no one has ever heard from Harmless before. Now what we could do about that is we could export the sound as a WAV file onto our desktop, or make a new folder for that. Harmless random. I don't know, let's call this one. A lot of options to choose from. Let's actually choose FLAC. 24 point is good enough. Whatever the other things are. So now I have exported some sound. Check that out. Cool, FL Studio was even so nice to also let the sound fade out at the end. So we also get a version of the sample that doesn't end abruptly, even though I didn't specify that. Usually I don't like it when DAWs do these kind of things, because, well, I didn't specify that, and if I was making a song now, I would want it to end just where I expected. But in a moment like this, where I just want to have a bit of sound design, I'm actually very happy about that. Let's try randomizing the preset again. Yeah, that was very ghostly. And again. Oh yeah, I like that. That had a nice flavor. Now the save menu has not remembered where I saved last time, which is a bit flawed in my opinion. But maybe it's just because I have the demo version of FL. I don't know. Okay, let's randomize this again. No, I don't like that one. I also don't like that one. No. Very eerie. I'm a bit surprised that all of these presets sound rather nice. I mean, not all of them are good enough that I would take them, but usually when you're randomizing synthesizers like crazy, you just get the dumbest sounds sometimes. I don't know how they manage to keep this always making more or less sense. But I do appreciate it. Kinda like that sound. I actually want to try this with one of the plugins that are not stock in FL Studio as well, just to check if that still works. I want to use MS2. So now we have MS2 opened and we can remove the nodes from Harmless and instead add them to MS2 and now randomize MS2. We don't hear anything. Don't hear anything. Don't hear anything. Don't hear anything. And we don't hear anything. Now, I have quite an idea why that would be. The problem with a lot of plugins out there, and sometimes it's not really the fault of the developer who develops them, is the bypass parameter. Every plugin has a bypass parameter, but not all developers are aware of that because it is not exposed to the developer or the user in most cases. And some plugins are programmed based on frameworks where whenever the bypass parameter is any other number than 0, then it will not let sound through. However, the parameter randomizer will randomize it on any value between 0 and 1, so it is very unlikely that it ever hits 0, and that's why some plugins will just output silence forever once you start randomizing them, which is very sad. But as I said before, most plugin devs, they can't do anything against that because it's like the job of the framework to solve these kind of things. Now let's try synth 1. Interesting. Nothing spoke to me super much immediately, but the point of this video was not to show you that this is the ultimate hack for finding the best sounds ASAP, but just a nice idea for making a beatmaker challenge or sound design starting point where you can just find some sounds that might inspire you by just taking the chance of finding something that just rolls towards you, well, randomly.